Try again. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the April 5th, 2016 Town Board Work Session for the Town of Ossining. Please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thanks so much to everybody for joining us here tonight. I am going to put off our announcements until after our special meeting, so we can just start with that resolution. I forgot to ask you to call the meeting to order.
Yep. So I'd like to call this meeting to order. Will everyone stand for the...
Oh, no. We did that.
We did that?
We did call the meeting to
Long
order.
day.
We just got to do the roll call. Sorry. It has
Okay.
been a long day.
Councilwoman DeTore,
Present.
Councilwoman Jeffrey,
Present.
Councilwoman Feldman,
Present.
Councilman Wiltshire,
Present.
and Supervisor Levenberg.
Here.
Okay, we have one resolution this evening. Whereas the owner-occupied property located at 136 Cedar Lane, Ossining, has delinquent taxes resulting in commencement of in rem foreclosure proceedings and a judgment of foreclosure, and whereas the property owners have requested to redeem the property and have tendered full payment, and whereas the town board desires to allow the owners of said property a window of opportunity to redeem the property prior to auction, now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Ossining hereby allows the holder of property at 136 Cedar Lane, Ossining, to redeem said property by paying all outstanding taxes, interest, penalties, and fees, plus an additional 10% penalty on the lien amount, for a total of $29,758.56, which, upon the recommendation of the receiver of taxes, the town board finds to be fair and appropriate based on the specific and unique circumstances of this case.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, thank you. Okay, may I have a motion to go into work session?
Motion to go into work session?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Thank you. I have a few quick announcements for this evening. It's been a few weeks since we have been here due to our infamous Fifth Tuesday phenomenon that we experience a few times every year. Before I let you know what we're working on tonight in our work session, I would like to share with you some exciting events in Ossining. Tomorrow night, local historian Scott Harecki will be helping ferry sloops kick off their 2016 spring lecture series with a presentation about Fort Kitchewank. I hope I pronounced that right. A prehistoric Native American structure on Croton Point, hosted by the Shadamuck Yacht Club. There will be a potluck supper at 6:30 p.m., so bring a dish to share or come just before 7:30 to get a good seat for the presentation. Kicking off a very busy Saturday in Ossining, we're going to start off the morning with the Jesse Collier Youth Sports, Baseball, and Softball Parade, which is set to step off at 8:30 a.m. on Saturday, April 9th from Roosevelt School. The teams will be marching up Route 133 to Camp Woods, and then from Narragansett to Veterans Park. So please come out and support our Ossining athletes. This parade is always a lot of fun, and we promise we will wave. Galata House will be hosting a Zumba fundraiser this Saturday, April 9th, between 3:30 and 8 p.m. at Lewis Engle Park. All proceeds will go towards helping an Ossining resident. Tickets are $10 each. You can drop off cash or check to Sue at Studio 95 at 119 Main Street, or buy tickets online at www.galatahouse.org. The ticket price goes up to $15 on the day of the event. Later on Saturday, April 9th at 7:30 p.m., the Soul Project will be performing at the Steamer Firehouse at 117 Main Street. A $10 donation at the door is suggested, but once you've heard them play, I know you're going to want to leave them a little bit more money because they are going to be awesome. I've heard them before, and they are fantastic. The Arts Mixer is brought to you by the Village Arts Committee, and it's a great way to spend a Saturday night, and I hope to see everyone there. Finally, a quick announcement. I hope I'm at finally. I might have skipped. Am I at finally? Okay. A quick announcement. Town and Village residents should be receiving mailers this week, if you haven't already, about the CCA, or Community Choice Aggregation Program. We also sent out an e-blast about it. The mailer is meant to explain the program and show you your new rates that you'll be receiving for electricity supply. The best part is that our residents who currently use Con Edison and were automatically opted into Con Edison when they moved into wherever they're living, don't have to lift a finger to benefit from this savings. Property owners who do not wish to participate may opt out, but this less expensive solution becomes the default for everyone who is currently with Con Edison. If you use an ESCO instead of Con Edison, and that's something that you chose, and you want to opt in, you may do so, but you have to contact your ESCO and get the details about leaving your contract with them. You can opt in or opt out of the CCA at any time. More information can be found on the town's website, or you can call my office with any questions at 762-6001. Another important reminder is that the 762-6007 number for the former town police building will be disconnected effective April 30th. If you need the police to attend to a non-emergency issue, you should call them at 914-941-4099 going forward, and as always in emergencies, please dial 911. We have several important items on our work session agenda this evening, starting with a proposed local law that the prior town board had worked on briefly with our building inspector, John Hamilton. John is here to walk us through his idea for a Knox box law in the town of Ossining, which is a key box on commercial buildings, and he'll talk more about it in a little bit, that allows access to emergency responders. The Village of Ossining has something similar, and our first responders are in support of such a law in the town as well. John will stay with us to talk briefly about ground-mounted solar panels, because our communities have become more interested in saving money and helping the planet by turning to solar energy and solar power for their electricity needs. We're seeing more innovative ways to configure these panels. John wants to discuss this with the board and his suggestions for regulating those panels that are ground-mounted, as they can be quite large and visible. Next, after John, we invite Paul Fraioli and Andy Teese, our superstar engineering team and water department, will be filling us in on their progress on the Indian Brook Dam Rehabilitation Project, which will eventually have a positive impact on the town's water supply, but also abuts Waterview. Paul and Andy will also take this opportunity to update the town board on the status of our capital projects, including where we stand along with a timeline and cost estimate for moving forward on some of these projects, and for us to consider. We will have a brief discussion about 2 fees that the town charges that our departments would like to see revisited. We will have, one of them has to do with burials at Dale Cemetery, and the other pertains to developments that developments and applicants who come before the planning board and want or require a pre-planning meeting. Finally, we will revisit a topic that Councilwoman Jeffrey has been researching for us, our mortgage recording tax revenues, which are currently being distributed in accordance with the New York State Comptroller's recommendations, but we will be asking the board to consider asking for legislative action to change that distribution in Ossining's case. Councilwoman Jeffrey will walk us through her reasoning for this proposed change, and we will decide on next steps. Before we get started, there are several people here tonight, I believe, who have come to comment and ask questions about the revaluation process. This was not a planned topic on our agenda this evening. As you've heard, we have a lot of business to attend to, but I would like to ask my board colleagues if they are okay. What I'd like to do is open up the floor for about 20 minutes, 2 minutes per speaker. If you could state your name and your residential address, and please limit your comments to 2 minutes, and we'll hope to end this portion by about 8 o'clock so that we can move into our work session. So is that okay with everybody? I'm gonna not tonight. We can revisit it at another meeting, but tonight we're not gonna be able to go past 8 because we have such a long work session. Is everybody okay with that? Okay, so I think we're all in agreement. I did want to make one more announcement on April 8th. That's tomorrow night, Friday, April 8th at 7:30 p.m. at the Ossining Boat and Canoe Club. I'm sorry, not tomorrow night. I'm really a little mixed up here. Friday night, April 8th, 7:30 p.m. at the Ossining Boat and Canoe Club. On the road, historic Ossining. Please join Ossining Village historian Dana White for a nostalgic and surprising journey up Highland Avenue to Hubbell's Corner, featuring more than 100 vintage photos of the ever-changing landscape. And that sounds like lots of fun, so hope you can make that too. Okay, so I think we have a sign-in sheet that's gone around, and if everybody would just be respectful of each other's time and of our work session agenda, I would greatly appreciate it. I was planning to. Are you going to? Okay. Kim will keep time. Okay. So, if you could limit your, if you want to come on up to the microphone, whoever wants to come up first.
Michael Walishin, 15 Birch Court, Austin, New York. Go. Town Supervisor Levenberg, as you know, others and I feel you've let us down as it relates to the Tyler tax assessment overall process. We recently sent you a document on a group we formed called Ossining Property Reevaluation Association, or OPRA. We ask for your support and assistance to help middle-class taxpayers get a fair shake and assistance they need. The response that we got from you and Victoria Garrity as part of your email was basically nothing you can do about it, and we will refer it over to our corporate counsel. Is this any way to treat your constituents by having 16 taxpayers in Ossining reach out to you and referring us to your corporate counsel, the town's corporate counsel? That's my first question.
I didn't actually.
You were on the email. You were on every email, the entire
I
chain.
didn't respond to your email. That was not from me. I did not refer.
So you had no conversation with Victoria as it relates to the email?
I did not.
No email, no correspondence at all?
Nope.
Okay.
Did not. Except
Okay.
for any time that she responded all, and you would have seen that.
So do you think that's right that 16 taxpayers in Ossining, when they actually reach out for your help,
That was this
the
morning.
response, can I finish my question? That we would actually get a response from you, from Victoria Gary, that she'll refer it over to corporate counsel, the town's corporate counsel?
I think the village really hasn't been involved in this process. It's been, the town has taken the lead on this process.
We can go in there in a second.
Are
I'm
you gonna
asking you a
Are you going to let
specific,
me finish?
I'm asking you a specific question.
And I'm going to answer you.
Okay, go ahead.
A specific question. As I was saying, you sent me that email this morning. You and I had spoken, I think it was yesterday, and you indicated that you were going to come to this meeting tonight. And I've been gathering information, and I didn't respond to your email, not because I don't choose to respond to emails, but because I like to have information in my hand before I do so, and I did not have time to do that today to get back to you, and I knew you were going to be here tonight, and I thought it would be best if we spoke in person.
My next question, as town supervisor,
Okay, that's just 2 minutes, just to let you know. So if you want, since you asked a question. Okay, great. You're up to 10 minutes.
town supervisor, what are you doing as mayor to make sure that we have legitimate grievances as it relates to individual home assessment and Tyler flawed tax process, that the town and village people that live here can actually get help as it directly relates to the town and village? Right now, Gary's position is, I am just a mayor of a village. I can't do anything. I can't help. I can't assist. Yet we pay village taxes. You're pretty much at the same position. In fact, you know, the whole process has started over you. You're the biggest endorsement of the Tyler reassessment, and the entire process is flawed. So what can we do, and what are you actually setting up for Ossining taxpayers to get the appropriate assistance that we need?
So the first thing that I would say is that I'm not the mayor. I'm the town supervisor. That's just to be clear. Okay, I think you said that I was the mayor also. I wanted to. Just going to keep it to 10 minutes. Okay. I just wanted to let you know that there has been a lengthy process which did not start while I was town supervisor. It started under a previous town board with a previous town supervisor, and the money was already allocated and spent, and the decisions had been made along with community input. I'd say 2 years ago, approximately 2 years ago, more or less. So the best thing for everybody to do, if they believe that their value for the new value for your home is not correct, is to go through the process, okay, and to meet with Tyler. And Tyler you have up until this Friday, April 8th, to schedule your appointment with Tyler. And if you're still not happy after that point, then your next appropriate time to take up your grievance is on grievance day, which is the third Tuesday in June. June 21st.
So our grievance is not specifically as it directly correlates to our houses. It's the entire process is flawed. You have houses with $350,000 in assessments that are worth a half, $600,000. Let me give you an example. One house with .38 acres of land had their recently land assessed at $228,000. One house 2 blocks away with .68 acres of land had their land assessed at $195,000. Another house very close by has 1.63 acres of land with an assessed value of the same at $195,000. How can this be in any capacity? So the process is flawed. And would you make a representation to us here and now, Town Supervisor, that if we could show you data in multiple aspects, that you would get involved and represent the town and village constituents and fight Taylor and potentially call in for an independent assessor to possibly redo the entire process,
Okay.
if you can determine there is enough flaws in the overall process.
So this process has not been without oversight. There was an independent monitor that was hired.
So you're saying all the errors
Are
are
you gonna
fine?
let me finish
Okay,
now and respond?
okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So basically, there was an independent monitor that was overseeing this process. In addition, the New York State Department of Taxation and Finance, the Real Property Division, also has been overseeing it. It's not finished yet. Everybody who thinks that they have been wrongfully assessed needs to come in, and that's part of the process. So process isn't complete yet. If you don't go through the process and if your property and you have, data to show, you know what, this is.
Let me ask you a question. If your house was assessed at $378,000, it's worth $800,000. Are you going to be sitting here today? Are those people coming forward? Why would they come forward? Your point is it's wrong. So what you're saying is if we could produce.
Who's trying to say if somebody's house is assessed at a lower level, it's worth a lot more, will they come forward? No, they're not going to come forward. That's what you're saying.
Right, you're fixated on every.
They're 300. They're not going to come and complain to you, and that is what you are doing.
I'm sorry, can you come up and have your 2 minutes? Okay, well then, please don't yell from the,
But that's what he's trying to tell you. He's trying to tell you. Of course
if you would like to introduce yourself and come up to the microphone.
Well,
okay,
I just
then
want to
please.
finish up. I have one last remark. So I just want to get for the record, Town Supervisor Levenberg. So what you're actually saying is, if we can produce dozens of inconsistencies as it directly correlates to the overall Tyler Industries evaluation and process that they use that is flawed, you are prepared to take no action on behalf of taxpayers, Austin taxpayers. Is that what you're saying?
I think
that you will
if
not
there
use the
was-
legal
I-
resources and
I think
tools.
that, did you want me to answer?
Yeah, please.
If there was some proof that town-wide that this assessment was greatly flawed, I would
And what is
definitely
that
like to
definition?
I would
10%
like to-
flawed, 20%
I would like to
flawed?
see that information.
All right, what percentage?
I'm going to ask our assessor to come
What
up and
percentage?
just ask him.
What percentage
to comment
flawed
on the
would
percentage.
actually make a reassessment
Okay, go
to
ahead,
come in?
Steve. I'm going to actually, go ahead.
Okay, first of all, the supervisor's too polite. You're rude and out of order. You're interrupting the supervisor who runs the meeting. You don't run the
I think
meeting.
she's actually interrupted me a few times, sir.
Secondly, there's a process. There's a legal process by which people review assessments. You've been told what the legal process is. If you
By the
have
way,
a-
you're not my father. You don't need to scold me like a school kid.
Well, then
So you need to
act
calm
like
down.
you should act
Well,
like
you
an
actually
adult.
need to calm down, sir.
So you have a process available to you. You should go through that process, and if you have an objection to your assessment and you think it's not equal, there are ways to challenge it. And that's the simple
So
answer.
I understand what you're saying. Fair enough. So what if 50 other assessments are too low? What do you?
50 is
I'm not
okay.
objecting. Well, I'm objecting
You know
to
what?
that. How do I contest that?
You should consult an attorney. There are legal ways to challenge the entire assessment if you think the entire
Okay.
assessment is
So
wrong.
listen, I'm done. Are you basically saying that the town and village will offer no assistance to Austin taxpayers?
I'm absolutely not saying,
That-
I'm absolutely not saying the town and village will not offer any assistance. First of all, I'm only going to be speaking for the town. I'm not going to speak
Correct.
for the village, okay? And I'm not saying we will not offer any assistance. What we can do is, especially for your group, if you'd like, we can set up a meeting with Tyler and the independent monitor, as well as our assessor, for you to hear all about the process. This is something that, again, over the course of 2 years, they talked a lot about what the process was, and you're saying you've said many times to me on the phone as well as here, that the process was flawed and that everything is wrong. If we didn't have a monitor overseeing it, if we didn't have the state overseeing the process as well as the actual numbers, I would feel not very confident. But that we had a lot of checks and balances within this process makes me feel a little more confident. I'm not going to say that if somebody were to uncover something that was so crazy, that was so out of line and egregious, that we wouldn't consider that. Of course we would. That would really not be right if we didn't. This is one block that you're saying has been overassessed. It's my understanding, Birch Court, that that you were actually underassessed for many years. But if there are any
Well, first of all,
outliers,
that first, you know what?
If there are
Listen
any
to me.
outliers,
Don't, you need to stop being a politician for a
You're
second.
going to continue to interrupt me because I wasn't finished. So it's my understanding that you were underassessed for many years, and now you're being brought up to the correct valuation. If that's not the case, as I was trying to say, each one of you should go in and challenge the assessment with the appropriate documentation and talk to Tyler, and you can
You
do
ju-
that. You have to come up to the mic and you have to sign in. So
My
your
name
time
is-
is up
my-
anyway. Your 10 minutes is up, Mr. Walshin.
My name is
Mr.
Pierre
Walsh.
Guarilia. I'm his neighbor. And I think one of the questions he was asking is, what support are you providing us? And nowhere during the whole conversation have you said anything. You throw it back into Tyler Technologies Court. They were paid by who to do the work?
The
So,
taxpayers.
Our whole neighborhood was blindsided by this. And we feel like there's nobody else to talk to except for legal counsel. We want to go down that route, so it should be a little bit more of an ability to help us. And that's what I find tonight is frustrating, is that we're not, I don't sense that. We're in this together, and yet it's Tyler Technology or calling the lawyers.
Well, we are in it together. I will agree with you. We are all in it together. I will let you know that my assessment went up almost $3,000 on my own house, in case
I
you
wish
weren't.
I could have had that. You want to trade?
Okay.
Yeah, I trade you.
Okay. Well, I live in an old house.
Sure that some of these.
Are you going to continue to yell from the audience, or do you want to come up and take your time?
You're right. I will shut up.
So for me, I think a positive step would be not having Tyler Technology, but people from the village, the town, to meet with us. I understand that there's other people besides Birch Court that have the same issues as what we do, and it should be done that way. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't
Can
be-
I ask a question?
Sure.
Is there a reason why you're not willing to go to the meetings with Tyler
Oh, no,
first?
we're going. We're
Okay,
going.
so I'm just trying to figure out the process for, if everybody hasn't gone yet, then we don't really.
Houses, it's the overall assessment process. There's people that I got assessed at $350 that are worth $500.
I understand that. Okay, so to the supervisor's point, it isn't just Tyler who did this. I mean, she said it twice, so I just want to say it a third time. And it's interesting that I'm the person who's talking about it, but Tyler did it with the oversight of an independent monitor who wanted that job. So let me explain competition. The independent monitor had bid for that job, I believe, or did that also, and didn't get the particular job. So they had every incentive to oversee this particular project and show flaws, because that would only be, in some ways, competition. They didn't, according to my understanding by the assessor. So that's just that layer. And then, and believe me, I'm not saying there can't be mistakes. I think, we're humans, so mistakes happen. But on top of that, the New York State Department of Real Property Taxes oversaw this process. So I'm not actually speaking to, whether it was all wonderful. I am just saying that when we talk about who is involved in the process, it wasn't just Tyler. I just want to say that.
And I also just want to follow up, because you said we wouldn't do anything, and I just offered that we would have a meeting with Birch Court and with Assessor Tyler, the independent monitor, and even the state, and that to me is doing something for you. And you just asked, could we do something for you? So I've spoken to some folks about if we could do that, and we said yes, we can. We're going to bring them in and have them sit down with you. We did do that over the last 2 years with other groups who had concerns. And again, I don't know, Fernando, do you want to make any comments at all? Would you like to come up? Okay, so why don't you come up?
Well,
that
the
was
one
your
thing
response.
I think we should have a say in the matter on who we meet with as well.
I don't know what that means.
Well, you're throwing Tyler Technologies out there. I don't think necessarily they should be at the table there, to meet with you. And I'd like to talk to, I'd like to, have our.
You wanted to complain about the process, and you're saying that their process was flawed, and so that they could at least explain to you what the process was, because it seemed like you don't know exactly what it was.
Well, see, now I'll go back to something else where you said you had the issue oversighted, and that person or that company reported to you. So that tells me then that you are in agreement with this whole situation, because somebody reported to you on the oversight of Tyler's work.
Okay. It's not done yet, but I do think that with the oversight that we've had, I do believe that the process that was followed was fair and accurate, even if right now, as I said, this isn't the end of the process. There are people who are finding flaws in it. And at the point that you do find flaws, that's exactly when you're supposed to come and tell them that you don't think this is right. And then what happens is, as you move forward and you continue the process, which hasn't been done for over 40 years, then next year you reassess again, you reassess on a regular basis, then you don't ever see these huge shifts like you are seeing now from not having done that every year. So what I think I said, and I will continue to say, is I do think that the process was fair, even if I personally don't like the results, which I don't, and I know so many of you don't either. I think that the information that's been provided to date and that's been had tremendous oversight seems to me like it's within reasonable and accountable boundaries that make sense based on what all the information that went into the model and how they produced it. But that doesn't mean, again, that I'm personally happy, but we're happy to set up a meeting with Birch Court. This is the first time we've really been asked.
Okay, then who would be our point of contact to set up that meeting?
Me.
Okay.
I'll set up the meeting. You got 5 more minutes, so if whoever ceded their
Frank
time.
Lavaglia, 11 Birch Court. I have a question. I was a little bit concerned with the comment you made, Supervisor, that based on your information that Birch Court was under-assessed. And what is that information based on?
Am I speaking with the assessor?
And so what homes are you considering? So we're talking the entire block. So how much were we under-assessed?
Assessor said he'd come up and speak.
Yeah. You want to come up and talk?
No, not right now. So so we'll go house by house, and you're gonna tell us how much we were under-assessed.
All the information is on the website.
No, I'm asking you now.
All the information is on the website, and you can see that the 2015 assessment compared it to the 2016 assessment. Also on the website, mmrc.tech.
You do have to come in and use a microphone.
Mr. Sessa, I have to say something.
Okay, we're not, Mr. Walsh, and it's
You
not
have
your
to come
turn
up
right
to the
now.
microphone.
It's not your turn right now. You had 10 minutes, so.
Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah.
Also on the website, mmrc.tylertech.com, you can search your property. You can see the comparable sales that were utilized to determine your value. And that way you can prepare to go to Tyler and present your argument, whether it's other comparable sales, an appraisal report that you have done recently for a refinance, or if you recently purchased the property, and you can see any property in the town.
Yeah,
Any property that has sold, any property, your neighbor's property, all of the information is there.
I understand that, but I thought I understood what the word comparable is. And my kids are taking the ELA test today. I'm like, hey, what's comparable? Until I got the Tyler Technologies, what their definition of what a comparable is. Ridiculous. And if you're standing behind that, it's flawed. So what are they basing it? What is a comparable? So what is a comparable? Because based on what my property is, it's all over.
I
the
suggest
place.
that you take
But I'm
your last
asking you,
appraisal report.
So what's
May I?
your
May I finish? May I
I'm
finish?
asking you, what is your
I'm
definition?
trying to answer it.
So
to,
no, I didn't ask my question.
well,
What's
no,
the-
I'm
what's your
trying to answer it,
definition
and
of
if you
what a
don't give me the
comparable
opportunity,
is?
we're just gonna
What is your definition
talk
of
to each
what
other
a comparable
loudly.
is? Are you going to talk over me? What is your definition of what a comparable is? Not what Tyler threw up on a website. What's your definition? What is a comparable?
If you look at your most recent appraisal report, may I finish? If you look at your most recent appraisal report, look at the sales that were used to determine your value.
Excuse me,
That is a
excuse me.
comparable. So what is a comparable specifically is
We can't.
an alternative,
Okay, we're done.
Excuse me, I'm gonna have to.
an alternative to your house that's sold recently. Has the same features, square footage, number of bedroom, style. So
Treating us all like school children.
School children act a lot more respectful than you.
Dana, let's just stop.
All right, done.
All right, you know what?
It's 8 o'clock.
Okay, it's 8 o'clock. It's 8 o'clock. It's 8 o'clock. It's 8 o'clock.
No, we're not
And-
done.
And
we're
I'm
not
afraid
done.
that you
We're
are.
not
This is
done.
our meeting. It's our work session.
And this
we
is
let
this
you
is
have
how you
the
treat
time.
the taxpayers,
It's actually
right?
not how I treat all taxpayers.
no, you
but
are.
People
You
who
are.
are very,
You
very
are.
rude. I asked you if you could please step down now from
No,
the
I'm not going
microphone.
to step down.
Okay, fine.
So what's the total over assessment of Birch Court?
Okay, motion to adjourn?
Oh, you're gonna get a lot more of it.
Okay,
Until you're out of office.
thank you. We're adjourned. Thank you.